Chapter 128. This girl is too strong. Although she is limited by her age and has not comprehended saber intent, my chances of winning against her are less than 50%. Just now when the young lady's chi burst out, Li Fuchen knew that her mystic class, mid-tier cultivation technique had probably reached the 13th rank. In addition, her cultivation level was 2 levels higher than his, which was why he suffered such a heavy internal injury in a single move. Li Fuchen couldn't imagine, if he was given a little more time, what level would he reach. Of course, if he was given more time, he didn't know what level he would reach. A year had passed, and 80% of his soul had turned light blue. Once his soul completely turned light blue, his perception would undergo another qualitative change. With a flash of thought, Li Fuchen quickly put on his clothes. After putting on his clothes, Li Fuchen kept the Jade Buddha and manuals and headed back the way he came. You want to leave? The speed at which Yan Qingwu put on her clothes was much faster than Li Fuchen imagined. Just as Li Fuchen entered the tunnel that he came from, Yan Qingwu leaped out of the pool and chased after Li Fuchen. In less than an hour, the two of them arrived at the karst cave where the 3 Wang brothers were in seclusion. You can't escape. Yan Qingwu's light body technique proficiency might not be comparable to Li Fuchen, but her cultivation was 2 levels higher than Li Fuchen. Hence, the gap between the two of them wasn't widened at all. If you want to fight, I'll accompany you. Li Fuchen didn't run anymore. If he wanted to escape, he could definitely do so. The combination of wind shadow arts and shadowless leg would allow him to slowly increase the distance between them. However, being chased away by a girl who was younger than him made him unhappy. Withdrawing the wind shadow steps and revolving the scarlet flame mystic technique, Li Fuchen's sharp eyes locked onto Yan Qingwu's figure. Yan Qingwu's expression turned solemn too. She could feel a formless and sharp chi presence from Li Fuchen's body. Black moon illuminates the world. Yan Qingwu brandished her saber. The black curved saber in her hand was like a black bolt of lightning. It drew across the air and arrived in front of Li Fuchen. In the air, there was a black arc of light that appeared like a black crescent moon. Ding! When Li Fuchen thrusted his sword, the sword light was like a meteor that came out of nowhere. The burst of speed and radiance was enough to numb one's scalp and send a chill down one's spine. Sparks flew as the two separated. Sword intent. Yan Qingwu frowned. True martial intent was an existence that she had yet to come into contact with. It wasn't that her comprehension was lacking, but rather that her foundation was lacking. Originally, when she returned this time, she planned to comprehend the 100 saber arts to strengthen her saber Dao foundation and comprehend the Black Moon Saber intent in one go. Once she comprehended the Black Moon Saber intent, her ability would instantly double. No one below the Earth Realm would be able to block a single blade from her. Even if it was a first-level Earth Realm martial artist, he would be slain by her in a single blade. As expected, the girl was extremely powerful. If he was unarmed, he would definitely not be her opponent. However, with a sword in hand, his strength could be multiplied several times. The meteor sword intent allowed his meteor sword art to be as fast as a shooting star, and its power was extremely great. No matter how fast a blade art was, he would be able to block it. You are a Canglan inner sect disciple? Yan Qingwu asked. Li Fuchen didn't answer and asked back. You are a Heaven Fiend sect inner sect disciple? The Heaven Fiend sect was the strongest sect within the radius of 100,000 miles. Their overall ability was slightly superior to the Canglan sect. This sect was neither righteous nor evil. They were the only ones in the sect and all their disciples were domineering. Li Fuchen had accidentally seen her naked body. He didn't know how much she would hate him. Cripple both your eyes now and I can spare your life. Yan Qingwu spoke coldly. Li Fuchen laughed lightly. What does it have to do with me if you strip naked for me to see? Furthermore, why should I ask you to spare my life? Damn it. You really think I can't do anything to you? Go to hell. Yan Qingwu was enraged. With the black curved saber in her hand, she cleaved horizontally and horizontally. The saber speed was extremely fast and the saber skills were extremely accurate. Every saber was executed with the utmost speed and strength. It was like a black rainbow that pierced towards Li Fuchen. Cling, cling, cling. In the air, sparks were bursting. Be it their maneuvers, saber skills, or sword skills, they were all at the pinnacle of speed. If a regular high-leveled Origin Realm martial artist was here, they wouldn't even be able to see the saber and sword paths clearly. Only when their saber and sword clashed would there be a moment of pause. This battle lasted for 2 hours and there was still no clear victor. Yan Qingwu had the advantage of physical strength and dense qi. Li Fuchen had the advantage of the meteor sword intent. But all of a sudden, Yan Qingwu held her saber with both hands and cleaved diagonally. In the air, it was as though there were black streaks of lightning. That was saber qi, a black saber qi. With the mystic class, mid-tier Earth Fiend technique at the 13th rank and her cultivation level at the 8th level of the Origin Realm, Yan Qingwu was already able to release her qi. But she was too proud and wanted to defeat Li Fuchen with her saber skills, which was why she didn't use it. Such a fast saber qi. Even though it was the same qi release, there was a difference. Liao Tianjuan's sword qi was more than 2-fold slower than this young lady's saber qi. Shadowless leg. Vanishing without a trace. In an instant, Li Fuchen's body turned transparent. When the saber qi cleaved, it dissipated into nothingness. Such a brilliant leg art? Even though Yan Qingwu hated Li Fuchen to the core, she had to admit that Li Fuchen was much more outstanding than most of the men she had met. Even though she cultivated the light body technique, cloud ambush, and cultivated it to the perfection stage, she didn't cultivate any leg arts or footwork techniques. But Li Fuchen's light body technique and leg arts were obviously at the perfection stage. Against Yan Qingwu's saber qi, Li Fuchen would dodge if he could. If he couldn't, he would use his sword to disperse the saber qi. The release of qi wasn't invincible. His meteor sword intent was enough to defend against any attack. Unless the opponent's attack was too strong and he couldn't block it. Damn it, if only my Black Moon saber style was a group attack saber style. Yan Qingwu frowned. Group attack saber styles could release multiple saber qi with a single saber. But the Black Moon saber style focused on the saber's strength and didn't have much saber qi. 4 hours passed. 6 hours passed. The two of them were drenched in sweat. With the qi returning elixir to recover their qi wouldn't be depleted. But the intense battle was a challenge to their endurance and physical strength. In a battle between experts, the consumption was 10 times or 100 times more than a normal battle. This saying wasn't false. The two of them fought for a few hours, which was equivalent to a normal battle for 1 or 2 days. Had they not been body refinement martial artists, they would have collapsed from exhaustion. If you can still block this saber, I will let you off today. Yan Qingwu's body was drenched in sweat. Her black and soft bangs stuck to her forehead, making her look even more charming. If it wasn't for her young age, she wouldn't have been able to display her charm to the fullest. Just bring it on. Li Fuchen was ready for battle. Boom. Yan Qingwu's qi presence surged. Streams of qi gathered in her palm and gathered on the black curved saber, constantly compressing. This is a secret technique? Li Fuchen's eyes shrank. Generally, things that could increase one's strength were either elixirs or secret techniques. She didn't consume elixirs, which meant she was using a secret technique. What star-grade secret technique was it? Black Moon Shine. Chapter 129. Danger! Intuition told Li Fuchen that if he couldn't block this saber, he would be severely injured. Revolving the Scarlet Mystic Flame technique to its limits, the surging Scarlet Fire Qi flowed into the Black Iron Sword. The Black Iron Sword suddenly lit up like a burning red iron sword, thrusting at the black light. TSS. As the saber and sword clashed, the ground on both sides of Li Fuchen looked as though it was plowed as 2 cracks appeared. In the next moment, Li Fuchen was sent flying, and when he landed, he left a few charred footprints on the ground. What an incredible saber! Li Fuchen coughed. His opponent's saber force was formidable. Even after being split into 2 by his sword force, it was still able to leave a crack on the ground. It wasn't hard to imagine what would have happened if this blade missed its target. Worthy of being called a sword intent. Yan Qingwu's eyes retracted. She executed the 2-star secret technique, Sun Congregate Hand. This secret technique allowed more qi to be gathered on the palm and transferred to the inside of the curved saber. She had just learnt the Sun Congregate Hand and wasn't proficient in controlling it. If not, that saber would have been even more concentrated. Live well. I will claim your life next time. Sheathing the curved saber, Yan Qinggu executed her maneuvers and vanished into a nearby tunnel. Spitting out a mouthful of fresh blood, Li Fuchen felt his internal injuries worsening. I wonder what kind of secret technique is this mystical dragon secret technique? Li Fuchen was getting more and more curious about the mystical dragon secret technique hidden within the Jade Buddha. The secret technique that the young lady executed just now increased her attack power by several folds. Had it not been for the lack of concentration, he would have been defeated by that saber. If he could learn a secret technique, his combat ability would increase tremendously and he would have an additional trump card. Of course, putting aside the study of the Jade Buddha, the first thing to do was to recuperate. Consuming a recuperation pill, Li Fuchen sat cross-legged and began to revolve the Scarlet Mystic Flame technique. As his qi revolved, Li Fuchen's internal injuries were gradually alleviated. 2 hours passed. His injuries were more or less healed. Taking a deep breath, Li Fuchen retrieved the Jade Buddha from his chest. From the outside, the Jade Buddha didn't seem to have any abnormalities. But when qi was injected into it, Li Fuchen could see that the body of the Jade Buddha was filled with tiny spots. This is an acupoint diagram? Li Fuchen raised his brows. Among the densely packed dots, dozens of small dots lit up, and a thin line connected them. This should be the first level of the mystical dragon secret technique. Li Fuchen followed the instructions and began to use his qi to open up each acupoint. As the last acupoint was opened, a simple acupoint diagram appeared within Li Fuchen's body. Pouring qi into it, Li Fuchen was surprised to find that this simple acupoint diagram had the effect of compressing qi. Boom! Bursting with qi, Li Fuchen cleaved at the ground not far away. With a cracking sound, the crushed stones on the ground flew in all directions. A deep sword mark that was 3 meters long and several inches wide appeared. The explosive power of his Zhen Qi has increased by 20%. This is too terrifying. Just the first level could increase one's explosive power by 20%. If it was the third level, wouldn't it be more than 50%? Most importantly, the girl's secret technique increased the explosive power of the vital energy in her hands, while the mystical dragon secret technique increased the explosive power of the vital energy in her entire body. The old man from the Zheng clan said that he was the only one in the entire Zheng clan who had cultivated the mystical dragon secret technique to the first stage. Why is it that I have no difficulty cultivating it at all? After mastering the first rank of the mystical dragon secret technique, Li Fuchen had some doubts. How could Li Fuchen know that the difficulty of secret techniques was originally lower than martial arts of the same level? But this mystical dragon secret technique had a higher requirement for qi control. Without sufficient control, it would be impossible to attain perfection in the first rank of the mystical dragon secret technique. But Li Fuchen's soul spirit was formidable and his qi control was much stronger than normal people, which was why he was able to master it in one go. If it was a normal person, they would have to slowly train their qi control. After mastering the first rank, Li Fuchen began to study the second rank. The second rank was much more difficult than the first rank. It involved over 100 acupoints. Taking a look, the acupoint diagram vaguely resembled the shape of a dragon. At this moment, just qi control wasn't enough, one's perception was required too. With so many acupoints, if any of them weren't smooth enough, it would affect the overall effect of the compression. Even for Li Fuchen, he had to try and study again and again. In the blink of an eye, a week had passed. Li Fuchen finally grasped the key points. The most important thing for the mystical dragon secret technique is to complete it in one go. There cannot be any pauses in between, which is why the direction of the acupoint diagram has to be the fastest and smoothest. It shouldn't be the pursuit of extreme compression which would cause the acupoint diagram to twist and turn. After finding the crux, Li Fuchen's cultivation speed of the mystical dragon secret technique suddenly increased. After the second week, Li Fuchen finally succeeded in cultivating the second rank of the mystical dragon secret technique. As compared to the first rank, the second rank had a 50% increase in burst strength. Li Fuchen reckoned that even if he progressed from the 6th level to the 7th level of the origin realm, his chi burst strength wouldn't be as great. In other words, once he revolved the second rank of the mystical dragon secret technique, Li Fuchen's combat strength would actually be at the 7th level of the origin realm and not the 6th level. This secret technique is too terrifying. There is a huge difference between cultivating a secret technique or not. Li Fuchen was overwhelmed with emotions. With his current ability, unless he changed to a stronger technique or cultivated an even stronger sword art, the only way to increase his ability was to advance his cultivation level. Who would have expected that a single mystical dragon secret technique would increase his overall ability by 50%? Luckily, I accepted this mission. If not, who knows when I would be able to obtain a secret technique. Li Fuchen rejoiced. In the Tsanglan sect, only under special circumstances, inner sect disciples could redeem secret techniques. And they could only redeem 1-star secret techniques. To redeem a 2-star secret technique, the sect would require you to do something for them. She should have left by now. Li Fuchen didn't intend to leave MT Feishue for now. He still wanted to soak in the pond that had a large amount of 1,000-year stone milk. Returning to the pond, Li Fuchen didn't dive into the water. Instead, he threw a piece of rock into the pond. After half a day, seeing that there wasn't any commotion, Li Fuchen took off his clothes and entered the water. As the days went by, Li Fuchen's physical strength didn't increase as fast as the first time he soaked in the pond. 31,000 kilograms. 32,000 kilograms. 33,000 kilograms. 35,000 kilograms. A few days later, Li Fuchen's physical strength had increased to 35,000 kilograms. I am almost at my limit. My body's qi and blood are starting to become impure. I need to purify my qi and blood before I can continue soaking. Li Fuchen felt that the energy within his body was in a mess. A lot of the stone milk energy was hidden within his flesh and bones and hadn't been completely converted. I better head back first and come back again if I have the chance. The feeling of being stuffed didn't feel good. 35,000 kilograms of physical strength, at least 2,000 kilograms of physical strength wasn't real and was supported by the stone milk energy. It was just like a regular person who consumed a huge supplement and had boundless strength. This strength didn't belong to the user and would dissipate after a period of time. Chapter 130. Zheng Clan. A month of waiting was unbearable for the upper echelons of the Zheng clan. The Jade Buddha was the Zheng clan's heirloom. The mystical dragon secret technique was the Zheng clan's inherited secret technique. No matter which one it was, they couldn't afford to lose. If Li Fuchen failed, they wouldn't know what to do next. I wonder if young hero Li found the Wang brothers? In a 7-story pavilion, the Zheng clan's patriarch and veteran gazed into the distance, hoping to catch a glimpse of Li Fuchen's figure. Sigh. After looking for a long time, the veteran shook his head and was about to leave. Second uncle, isn't that young hero Li? The Zheng clan's patriarch had an excited expression as he pointed into the distance. Let me see. The old man from the Zheng family hurriedly walked back. It's young hero Li. Ha, let's go welcome him. The veteran laughed heartily. Outside the Zheng clan's main entrance, the upper echelons of the Zheng clan formed 2 rows and went out to welcome. Young hero Li, I wonder if the Jade Buddha. The Zheng clan's patriarch asked carefully. Li Fuchen walked over and smiled. Fortunately, I didn't disappoint you. Finishing his statement, he took out the Jade Buddha from his chest. Many thanks, young hero Li. Many thanks, young hero Li. The Zheng clan's patriarch was overwhelmed with emotions as he received the Jade Buddha from Li Fuchen. Due to the need for the Jade Buddha to cultivate the mystical dragon secret technique, Li Fuchen had no choice but to temporarily stay at the Zheng clan. He intended to cultivate the mystical dragon secret technique to the 3rd rank before returning, in case he had to return again. Young hero Li, your lunch. Outside the courtyard, Two maids walked in with the meal. Put it on the stone table outside, I will eat later. Li Fuchen's voice echoed from within the house. Young hero Li Shure is hardworking. It has been a week and he has been practicing his martial arts diligently. No wonder he has such ability. Sigh, if only my husband was young hero Li. Stop dreaming. Our Zheng clan's young lady isn't worthy of young hero Li. You better give up. I was just saying. Placing down the meal, the two maids giggled and left. Li Fuchen laughed bitterly and shook his head. The third rank of the mystical dragon secret technique was extremely difficult to cultivate. After half a month, he still hadn't found the opportunity to break through. He reckoned that it would take at least 1 or 2 months before he could succeed. On this day, Li Fuchen was still cultivating. Dozens of miles away from the Zheng family, a group of people riding demonic blood horses were galloping towards the Zheng family. Young Master Qingyang, this Zheng family head really refuses a toast only to be forced to drink a forfeit. It's the Zheng family's fortune that young Master Qingyang has taken a fancy to the Zheng family's young lady, Zheng Wei. That's right. The young lady of the Lu family dared to disobey young Master Qingyang. In the end, she still obediently became young Master Qingyang's concubine. The leader riding on the rank 2 demonic blood horse was a young man in his 30s. He had a horse face and a bulbous nose. He wasn't ugly, but he made people feel uncomfortable. The 2 men beside him kept flattering the young man. The young man's name was Ma Qingyang. He said viciously, "The young lady of the Lu family didn't obey me, so I tortured her for a month. This young lady of the Zheng family didn't obey me, so I will bring her back and torture her for 3 months." His Ma clan was one of the 3 major clans of Lin Sha City. Within the clan, there were 3 Earth Realm martial artists and plenty of Ma clansmen that entered the Azure Water sect. In the entire Lin Sha City, apart from the other 2 major clans, no one dared to offend the Ma clan. "Young Master Qingyang, we've arrived at the Zheng family. Charge in." Ma Qingyang didn't slow down as he charged into the Zheng clan. With so many people rushing in, the Zheng clansmen were in a panic. Patriarch Zheng forced a smile and walked to Ma Qingyang, who was riding the demonic blood horse. He cupped his fist and asked, "Young Master Qingyang, what brings you to the Zheng clan today?" Ma Qingyang didn't reply. The man beside him snorted, "Bring your daughter out. Our young Master Qingyang wants to bring her back to the Ma clan. Prepare 100,000 gold coins as a betrothal gift. If not, you will be held accountable." Patriarch Zheng suppressed the anger in his heart and spoke in a soft voice. "Logically speaking, it is my daughter's fortune that young Master Qingyang has taken a liking to my daughter. But my daughter already has someone else in her heart, so... How dare you? Do you know that young Master Qingyang is the only grandson of the founder? If you dare to be so long-winded, I will eradicate your Zheng clan." Another man drew his sword and roared. Patriarch Zheng was the patriarch of a clan after all and had never suffered such humiliation before. He spoke in a rigid tone. "Does the city lord know about your Ma clan's misdeeds?" Facing Fiend City's #1 clan was undoubtedly the city lord's Su clan. Hearing this, Ma Qingyang's eyes flashed with killing intent. "You dare to use the city lord's name to suppress me? Do you want to die?" "I don't dare, but don't force me either." Patriarch Zheng didn't believe that the Ma clan would dare to eradicate his Zheng clan. The Azure Water sect was a righteous sect and its territory was relatively peaceful. For a major clan to eradicate a minor clan, unless it was done secretly and without anyone knowing, the city lord would definitely intervene. After all, if such a thing happened in the city under his jurisdiction, his prestige would be tarnished. Hee, eradicating your Zheng clan? I'm not that foolish. But bringing you back for interrogation is still within my capabilities. Everyone listen up. Patriarch Zheng plotted to murder one of my Ma clan's clansmen. Now that we have caught the evidence, bring him back for interrogation immediately. Anyone who disobeys shall be crippled. Ma Qingyang waved his hand and spoke with a stern expression. "You dare." The veteran of the Zheng clan walked out from the grand hall and shouted in anger. "Why wouldn't we dare? Our Ma clan is the sky of facing Fiend City. If you dare to disobey the Ma clan, then prepare for the worst." Following Ma Qingyang's command, 4 ninth-level Origin Realm martial artists came down from the demonic blood horse and surrounded the Zheng clan's veteran and patriarch. Patriarch Zheng's expression was extremely gloomy, too arrogant and lawless. Father. Right at this moment, an elegant young lady rushed over anxiously. Why are you out? Hurry up and go back in. Patriarch Zheng's expression changed. Since you're already out, why go back in? Zheng Wei, your father has committed a crime, and he's going back to the Ma clan with me. It's best if you come along as well. Who knows, you might be able to lessen your father's suffering. If you serve me well, it's not impossible for me to let your father go. Ma Qingyang was lustful as he grinned. I will follow you back, but you have to let my father go. Zheng Wei had a look of resignation. Wei you can't. Patriarch Zheng was burning with anxiety. Your father spoke rudely and violated my taboo. But I can give him a chance. Let him kneel down and beg me. Ma Qingyang didn't get off his horse and spoke in a condescending tone. Damn it. Patriarch Zheng was about to risk his life. Such arrogance. Who gave you the guts to strut around here? Right at this moment, a figure walked into the Zheng clan's front yard. Little bastard, do you want to die? How dare you call young Master Qingyang a dog? A man drew his sword and cleaved at Li Fuchen. Li Fuchen's eyes flashed with a cold light as he executed a palm strike. With a blinding red light, the man was instantly turned into a charcoal and was sent flying. Seeing the scene, the Ma clansmen were flabbergasted. This man actually dared to kill their Ma clansmen. This man had committed a grave crime and no one could save him. Now that the city lord was here, they had their reasons. Where did this bastard come from? Slaughter him! Ma Qingyang roared. Kill. Chapter 131. This series of collisions could be heard. The Ma clansmen that rushed at Li Fuchen were all sent flying with broken bones and charred chests. You are dead meat. Even the heavens can't save you for killing my Ma clansmen. Kneel down and confess your sins while you still have a chance. Once I catch you, I will make you wish you were dead. Ma Qingyang spoke with a stern expression. Even a sect wouldn't dare to say such words. A mere Ma clan dares to talk about the heavens? Li Fuchen didn't even bother about the Ma clan. With his current status and ability, such a city-class clan was nothing in his eyes. Only the Earth Realm martial artist behind them could make Li Fuchen slightly apprehensive. You are courting death. Let this old man teach you how to behave. One of the Ma clansmen who was at the 9th level of the Origin Realm drew his sword and used a sharp sword style to attack Li Fuchen. The veteran came and went quickly. He was sent flying by a single palm strike from Li Fuchen. The three of you come at me together and kill me. Ma Qingyang spoke with a sinister expression. In front of everyone, Ma Qingyang wouldn't be able to take this lying down. Kill. 3 9th-level Origin Realm martial artists worked together to kill Li Fuchen. 9th-level Origin Realm martial artists were rare even in the Ma clan. There were only a dozen of them and Ma Qingyang brought 4 of them just in case. The one who attacked first was the weakest. Overestimating yourself. Li Fuchen didn't make a move and revolved the Scarlet Flame Mystic technique. A layer of fiery red chi emerged from his body and formed a chi protection. The 3 of them froze in midair. The swords in their hands couldn't even penetrate Li Fuchen's chi protection. How is this possible? One of the 3 was shocked and couldn't believe his own eyes. You are a Tsang Lan inner sect disciple? The other one seemed to have thought of something and asked with fear. Only a Tsang Lan inner sect disciple could withstand the combined attack of the 3 of them with just a chi protection. If it was a regular 6th-level Origin Realm martial artist, they would have been dead by now. Get lost. Li Fuchen spat out a single word. With a burst of chi, the blazing scarlet fire chi sent the 3 of them flying and causing them to vomit blood. Such strength. The Zheng clansmen were all shocked and flabbergasted. At the same time, a sense of awe and envy arose in his heart. If they were this strong, why would the Ma family bully them like this? You, Ma Qingyang pointed at Li Fuchen and couldn't utter a single word. You? Get off the horse. With a wave of Li Fuchen's hand, Ma Qingyang tumbled off the demonic blood horse, looking extremely pathetic. He couldn't stand the sight of such domineering and unreasonable disciples. Back in Yunwu City, the disciples of the Shinto clan, Yang clan and Guan clan were all like this. This Ma Qingyang was even worse than them. You dare hit me? Do you know that my grandfather is the Ma clan's founder and is at the second level of the Earth realm? My cousin brother is the Azure Water sect's inner sect deacon apprentice. My uncle is the Azure Water sect's inner sect deacon apprentice. You are dead meat. Ma Qingyang had always been high and mighty. When had he ever been treated like this? He was so angry that his mind was in a mess, and his eyes were bloodshot. Bang! Li Fuchen kicked at Ma Qingyang's abdomen and sent him flying. Furthermore, a scarlet fire qi invaded and damaged Ma Qingyang's lower body meridians. Without any miraculous pills or experts to treat him, he would lose all interest in women for the rest of his life. If you don't leave now, I will take your head, Li Fuchen said coldly. Young Master Qingyang, let's go. One of the 9th-level Origin Realm martial artists who was severely injured by Li Fuchen helped Ma Qingyang up and said, a wise man knows when to retreat. With their ability, they couldn't do anything to Li Fuchen. They were afraid that Ma Qingyang would infuriate Li Fuchen and incite his killing intent. Where there's life, there's hope. Let's return to the Ma clan first. Just you wait. Ma Qingyang could only feel the pain in his lower body. With a ruthless statement, he led the demonic blood horse and left the Zheng clan. In just a short moment, the Ma clansmen were all gone, leaving behind a charred corpse. Many thanks to young hero Li for your kindness. The Zheng clan patriarch and veteran bowed in gratitude. The Zheng clan patriarch's daughter, Zheng Wei, bowed too. Her beautiful eyes were filled with curiosity and admiration. Beauties love heroes. This was an unchanging rule since the ancient times. In this world where the strong ruled, who wouldn't wish for their husband to be an unparalleled hero who could protect them for life? Li Fuchen waved his hand. I will still be staying here for a period of time. Just prepare some good wine and food. Finishing his statement, he turned and walked back to his own courtyard. The third-rank acupoint diagram of the mystical dragon secret technique is obviously in the shape of a dragon. Could it contain a trace of the dragon's mystical ability? Looking at the hundreds of lit-up acupoints within the Jade Buddha, Li Fuchen went into deep thought. Dragon was the strongest demonic beast in this world. It could call the wind and summon the rain. It could be big or small. It could roam the void and dominate the universe. It could reach the 9 underworlds and communicate with ghosts and gods. It was almost omnipotent. Even the term demonic beast couldn't be used to describe a dragon. It should be described as a divine beast. But no one had ever seen a dragon. It wasn't even known if a dragon existed. It only existed in legends and myths. Li Fuchen found it hard to associate the 3-star secret technique, mystical dragon secret technique, with a dragon. After all, the difference between the two was too huge. A 9-star secret technique was more like it. 3 days later, Li Fuchen still wasn't able to comprehend the 3rd rank of the mystical dragon secret technique. At this moment, Ma Qingyang and his group had already returned to the Ma clan. Grandfather, you have to help me. Ma Qingyang knelt in front of a veteran dressed in luxurious clothes and cried bitterly. The veteran dressed in luxurious clothes helped Ma Qingyang up and spoke in a cold voice. How dare you? So what if you are an inner sect disciple of the Azure Water sect? My Ma clan isn't a nobody in the Azure Water sect. The veteran dressed in luxurious clothes was the Ma clan's founder, Ma Taichong, a 2nd-level Earth realm martial artist. Grandfather, I got kicked by him. My lower body feels numb and swollen. Ma Qingyang recalled something and suddenly said, let me see. Ma Taichong reached out and pressed on Ma Qingyang's abdomen. A moment later, Ma Taichong's eyes flashed with murderous intent. What a vicious little b***************** d. He actually dared to end my only grandson's lineage. If I don't take revenge, how am I supposed to be a man? As his qi entered Ma Qingyang's body, Ma Taichong could clearly feel that the meridians on Ma Qingyang's abdomen were scorched and withered. A scorching qi presence even damaged the internal organs. It wouldn't be easy for him to recover completely. After all, the meridians on the lower body were already weak and couldn't bear any damage. Grandfather, have I lost my ability as a man? Hearing this, Ma Qingyang was dumbfounded. Don't worry, it isn't impossible to heal. Follow me to the Zheng clan first. I want to settle the score with this little b*********************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************************** The most important thing for a clan was the bloodline. If this generation couldn't do it, they could wait for the next generation. But to sever the bloodline was the same as severing the clan's inheritance. This hatred wasn't inferior to killing one's father or stealing one's wife. 3 days later, the Zheng clan's main door was smashed. Under Ma Taichung's lead, a group of over a dozen men entered the Zheng clan. "Where is that little b*****************? D? Come out now." A thunderous voice echoed throughout the entire Zheng clan and even reached the courtyard where Li Fuchen was at. Why are there so many fools in this world? Chapter 132. Under Ma Taichung's aura, everyone from the Zheng family trembled in fear. Even the Zheng family's patriarch and the Zheng family's elder were pale, not daring to utter a single word. In the martial Dao realm, every great realm was separated by a chasm. Especially when one reached the Disha realm, they would be able to use their aura. The aura was a combination of one's cultivation aura and one's spirit will. It wasn't an exaggeration to say that under normal circumstances, 7 to 8 ninth level origin realm martial artists wouldn't even be able to defeat a first level earth realm martial artist. It wasn't because they didn't have enough ability, but because they didn't have enough battle intent. Under the envelopment of an earth realm martial artist's chi presence, it would be considered good if they could utilize 60% to 70% of their ability. Of course, if there were more 9th level origin realm martial artists, then it would be hard to say. With more people, the imposing aura would be stronger. Against an army of thousands, even a heaven realm martial artist wouldn't dare to use his imposing aura to resist. Where is that little bastard? Ma Taichung questioned the Zheng clan's patriarch and the Zheng clan's elder. You are already so old. Why aren't you enjoying yourself at home and running out to spew dog shit? Li Fuchen walked out slowly. Little bastard, don't be so sharp-tongued. Today, I will teach you a lesson on behalf of your parents. Ma Taichung's chi pressured towards Li Fuchen. Against Ma Taichung's chi presence, Li Fuchen ignored it. Your chi presence is too weak. With just this bit of chi presence, you dare to come out and embarrass yourself. Based on Ma Taichung's chi presence, Li Fuchen reckoned that he cultivated a peak-tier, yellow class technique. Perhaps when he was young, he had also entered the Azure Water sect. Of course, when he was young, he was most likely a servant disciple or an outer sect deacon disciple. He did not have the opportunity to come into contact with a profound level cultivation technique. In order to cultivate a mystic class cultivation technique, one either had to become an inner sect disciple and exchange large amounts of contribution points or join the Tsanglan army. In short, there weren't many options. Ma Taichung originally didn't expect to suppress Li Fuchen with his chi presence, he just wanted to test his opponent. Seeing that his chi presence was ineffective, he burst forth with chi and intended to make a move. Old dog, it just so happens that I also want to test the power of the secret method, so I'll use you as an example. The 14th level of the Scarlet Flame Mystic Art revolved. The second level of the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique was activated. Boom. Li Fuchen's chi presence rushed into the sky and didn't seem to be any weaker than Ma Taichung. The quality of his chi presence seemed to be above Ma Taichung's and contained an indescribable prowess. What? He has cultivated the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique to the second stage? The old man from the Zheng family was dumbfounded. When cultivating the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique, one's aura would contain a special kind of majesty. This kind of majesty could increase the pressure of one's aura. He had only cultivated the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique to the first level, so this kind of special prestige was very faint and of little use. But Li Fuchen's chi presence contained a special prowess that was more than 10 times stronger than him. He had obviously cultivated the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique to the second level. Peerless genius. The old man from the Zheng family took a deep breath and forcefully suppressed the dizziness. Ma Taichung's pupils constricted. He had a bad feeling about this. But now that things had come to this, there was no point in regretting. He had to take down the other party first. Drawing his sword, Ma Taichung used the ardent wind sword style to attack Li Fuchen. Meteor fall. Li Fuchen thrust his sword over. Puff. In the front yard of the Zheng family, a strong gust of wind blew, and everyone's clothes fluttered in the wind. He can actually block my blade. What kind of monster is this little b********************? D? Ma Taichung's scalp went numb. He was a second-level Earth Realm martial artist. When dealing with a sixth-level Origin Realm martial artist, he didn't even need to make a move. With a wave of his hand, he could send his opponent flying. No wonder he is a second-level Earth Realm martial artist. Putting aside the cultivation level, Li Fuchen's other qualities were much superior than his opponent. Even if a yellow class, peak-tier technique was cultivated to the highest rank, it would only be equivalent to a 7th rank, mystic class, mid-tier technique. Li Fuchen was 7 ranks higher than his opponent. In terms of physical strength, his opponent's physical strength was at most 1,000 kilograms, while Li Fuchen had 35,000 kilograms of physical strength. In terms of sword arts, his opponent cultivated a yellow class, peak-tier sword art, while Li Fuchen cultivated a mystic class, low-tier sword art. It was already at the trance stage and had developed sword intent. But with so many advantages, it could only make up for Li Fuchen's disadvantage in cultivation level. After all, there was a difference of 5 levels between the two of them, and there was still the huge barrier from the Origin Realm to the Earth Realm. Cling clang clang. The two of them crossed swords. The speed was so fast that no one could see it clearly. Dance of ardent wind. Suddenly, Ma Taichung's long sword revolved and a sword chi swirled towards Li Fuchen like a tornado. Let's see how you block this. After releasing this blade, Ma Taichung sneered. He wasn't a brute. In the Tao of battle, one had to know how to play to one's strengths and avoid one's weaknesses. Li Fuchen might be strong, but he couldn't release his chi, which was his greatest advantage. I might be able to release my chi, but it isn't as strong as my opponent. Might as well not waste my chi. Activating the 2nd rank of the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique, Li Fuchen could already release his chi, but he didn't want to. Executing the Shadowless Leg, Li Fuchen was like a shadow, dodging the sword chi. After dozens of moves, the two of them were still in a stalemate. Among the Ma clansmen, Ma Qingyang was flabbergasted. How could this be? It shouldn't be. He couldn't understand the world of prodigies and even more so, the world of demons. As the battle raged on, Li Fuchen fell into a strange state of mind. He felt as though something was being nurtured within his body. As the battle got more intense, this feeling got more intense. Is it the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique? Soon enough, Li Fuchen found the reason. The Mystical Dragon Secret Technique was a combat secret technique. Only through battle could one comprehend it faster. Especially from the 2nd rank to the 3rd rank, one would need to experience at least 100 battles. Multitasking, he immersed his consciousness into his body while battling with Ma Taichung. Hundreds of acupoints were flickering. The Mystical Dragon Secret Technique wasn't the same as a cultivation technique. It didn't need to be circulated at all times. As long as the acupoints were activated, chi would flow into the acupoints and it would naturally circulate, increasing the burst strength of the chi. Of course, as a result, the chi consumption would increase exponentially, or even by several folds. The dragon fights in the wilderness. Its blood shall be yellow and black. Not knowing why, Li Fuchen's heart suddenly came up with a very old saying. Little brat, I don't know what secret technique you use to increase your ability. But this secret technique will definitely consume a lot of chi. Let's see how long you can last. Ma Taichung wasn't in a hurry anymore. There was no point in being anxious. The most important thing was the result. Is that so? Li Fuchen let out a mysterious smile. With his exceptional perception, just a single battle allowed him to comprehend the crux of the 3rd rank of the Mystical Dragon Secret Technique. Of course, the long period of comprehension was also very useful. Indistinctly, An extremely dignified roar of a beast could be heard. What is that sound? Ma Taichung was frightened. This is the sound of your defeat. Li Fuchen laughed loudly as a horrifying qi presence rushed into the sky. Under the shroud of this qi presence, it was as though a giant dragon was cruising around. Their spirit willpower went into a trance and didn't dare to move. Third rank of the mystical dragon secret technique? The Zheng veteran had his mouth wide open and couldn't close it. Defeat. Li Fuchen felt as though his qi was about to combust, turning into magma that flowed within his body. Executing meteor fall, a meteor shot out from the sky. Chapter 133. The meteor pierced through his body, and Ma Taichung froze in place. Whatever protective qi, whatever demonic beast leather armor, they were all useless at this moment. All of them were pierced by the sword. With a swing of the black iron sword, another sword qi flew out and severed Ma Qingyang's arm. Li Fuchen spoke in an indifferent tone. From today onwards, if any Ma clansman dares to step into the Zheng clan, kill without mercy. He didn't kill Ma Taichung. Of course, Ma Taichung would be half-crippled even if he didn't die. Similarly, he didn't kill Ma Qingyang. Cutting off one of his arms was a warning to him. Go, let's go. The Ma clansmen no longer dared to be arrogant. They carried Ma Taichung and Ma Qingyang and left in a hurry. Everyone from the Zheng clan felt like they were in a dream. The Ma clan had come to the Zheng clan twice, and both times, they were beaten to the point of fleeing like dead dogs. And the root cause of all of this was this young man before him. A single person and a single sword had caused the Ma clan to flee in a sorry state. They probably wouldn't dare to come to the Zheng clan in the future. How awe-inspiring! How glorious it was! Be it man or woman, old or young, everyone looked at Li Fuchen with eyes of reverence. Young hero Li, I can't thank you enough. Although the Zheng family is a small family and can't help young hero Li much in the future, as long as young hero Li says the word, we will not hesitate to go through water and tread on fire. The head of the Zheng clan and the elder of the Zheng clan walked over and bowed with cupped fists. Their upper bodies were so low that they were almost touching the ground. The Zheng clan was indebted to Li Fuchen. Retrieving the Jade Buddha was a kindness. Getting rid of the Ma family was another favor. Without Li Fuchen, they didn't know what would happen to the Zheng clan. Perhaps they would decline and vanish without a trace. Li Fuchen said, I don't owe you any favors. I am just returning the favor. Don't mention this matter again. A 3-star secret technique was enough to repay this favor. Li Fuchen had a balance in his heart and wasn't willing to take advantage of the Zheng clan. Hearing the statement, the Zheng clansman's impression of Li Fuchen rose from reverence to reverence. This was a true swordsman. His character was like jade, and he was transparent and upright. After cultivating the mystical dragon secret technique to the 3rd rank, Li Fuchen intended to leave. However, he did not intend to return to the sect just yet. He wanted to head to the soaring snow mountain range again. He had already completely refined the power of the stalactite within his body. This time, he had to cultivate the hidden blood-body refinement technique to the grand perfection realm. Mount Feishue. Inside the giant peak. The karst cave was dozens of meters tall. Giant stalactites hung down like the awl of a deity, about to pierce through the earth. Beside the pool, Li Fuchen threw a stone into it. Seeing that there was no reaction, Li Fuchen took off his clothes and jumped in. There was only half a month left until the end of Li Fuchen's 3rd year as an inner sect disciple. Li Fuchen finally cultivated the hidden blood-body technique to completion and his physical strength reached 40,000 kilograms. It's time to return to the sect. If he didn't hand in the mission within a year, or if he couldn't complete the mission, he would be punished. Even though the punishment was only some contribution points, Li Fuchen didn't want to be punished. A few days after Li Fuchen left, Yan Qingwu arrived at Mount Flying Snow. You actually dare to come again. Yan Qingwu's face was as cold as ice. There was a limit to the 1,000-year stone milk in the pool water. Compared to the previous time, the 1,000-year stone milk in the pool water had decreased by at least 30%. Don't let me see you again. After taking off her clothes, the dazzling white Yan Qingwu jumped into the pond and sank to the bottom. The third rank of the mystical dragon secret technique sure is mystical. The first and second rank is about compressing qi, but the third rank is about transforming qi. No wonder I couldn't comprehend it until the battle with Ma Taichong. While on his way back, Li Fuchen couldn't help but recall everything that happened during this period of time. Obtaining the mystical dragon secret technique was undoubtedly his opportunity. This 3-star secret technique was too formidable. When he cultivated it to the second rank, his qi burst strength was equivalent to advancing to the 7th level of the origin realm. When he cultivated it to the third rank, his qi burst strength was equivalent to advancing to the 8th level of the origin realm. It was a known fact that there was a huge difference between the strong and the weak when advancing to the next rank. When the weak advanced to the next rank, there was a limit to the increase in ability. When Li Fuchen advanced to the next rank, the difference in ability was like heaven and earth. A single secret technique allowed his combat strength to reach the 8th level of the origin realm. It was unbelievable. But thinking about it, it was normal. The first and second rank of the mystical dragon secret technique was about compressing qi. The third rank was about transforming the scarlet fire qi into an even stronger type of qi. Li Fuchen named this type of qi as mystical dragon qi. Or it could also be called fire dragon qi. The fire dragon qi was domineering like magma. It wasn't in a gaseous state, but a half-liquid state. With this mystical dragon secret technique, I can at least save a year of hard work. Fate sure is unpredictable. Shaking his head with a smile, Li Fuchen tightened his grip on the Class 2 demonic blood horse's abdomen to increase its speed. On the last day of his third year as an inner sect disciple, Li Fuchen returned to the Zhonglan sect. After submitting his mission, Li Fuchen let out a breath of relief as he almost didn't have time to submit his mission. Walking out of the mission hall and passing through a small path, Li Fuchen saw Guan Yilong, Yang Ao, and Li Tianshi. Li Tianshi was interrogating the two of them. Guan Yilong, Yang Ao, Fuchen has yet to return. Did you do something? Li Tianshi shouted angrily. Yang Ao and Guan Yilong snorted. Li Tianshi, is your brain damaged? How dare you behave atrociously in front of us? What's more, that B************* D is just a normal bone frame. It would be best if he died outside. At least he could purify your Li clan's bloodline. The two of them were certain that Li Fuchen was dead. But they didn't think that it was their clan's inner sect deacon apprentices who killed him. There were over a dozen inner sect deacon apprentices from the 3 clans and they had yet to return. They were probably dead outside. They assumed that it was the Liao clan who sent someone to kill Li Fuchen. After all, Li Fuchen had yet to return. Since Li Fuchen was already dead, they naturally had nothing to fear. Previously, they were actually a little afraid of Li Fuchen. Li Fuchen, who defeated Liao Tianjun, had already become their nightmare, causing them to be unable to eat or sleep in peace. You are all shameless. Li Tianshi felt sorrow in his heart. No matter what, he was still a descendant of the Li clan and wished for the Li clan to prosper. But Li Fuchen undoubtedly had the potential to become a direct disciple of the Zhonglan sect and bring honor to his ancestors. Guan Yilong laughed sinisterly. Li Tianshi, you better take care of yourself first. The weather is unpredictable. Who knows when you will be dead too? That's right. Be careful when you walk next time. Don't fall to your death. Yang Ao mocked. The two of you are in such a good mood. A familiar voice could be heard. Yang Ao and Guan Yilong were stunned and turned to look. Immediately, the two of them had a face of fear. Fuchen, you are back. Li Tianshi was delighted. Nodding slightly at Li Tianshi, Li Fuchen looked at Guan Yilong and Yang Ao with a cold gaze. Are you disappointed that I am not dead? Li Fuchen, what nonsense are you talking about? I don't understand. Guan Yilong swallowed his saliva and forced himself to speak. I am saying, are you disappointed that I am not dead? Li Fuchen's voice got louder. The loud volume caused Guan Yilong and Yang Ao's legs to tremble. Li Fuchen, don't be reckless. This is the sect. Yang Ao took a look behind him and had the intention to retreat. Kneel. Li Fuchen's qi presence rushed into the sky, as his right hand pressed towards the two of them. Patter, patter. Chapter 134. Li Fuchen, you dare to humiliate me. The veins on Guan Yilong's face bulged as he roared. Li Fuchen, do you know the consequences of your actions? Yang Ao almost went crazy. Since young, when had he ever knelt to anyone? He didn't expect to kneel in front of Li Fuchen today. At this moment, the two of them weren't thinking about how Li Fuchen's ability could be so strong, which was several-fold stronger than when he fought with Liao Tianjun. The only thing they could think about was their pride. Fuchen's strength. Li Tianxia realized that he couldn't understand Li Fuchen at all. Li Fuchen's improvement in ability was too fast. After a short period of time, Li Fuchen would improve by a huge margin. Only a short period of time had passed and Li Tianxia was already this strong. So what if I humiliate you? Li Fuchen said indifferently. Li Fuchen, what are you doing? Right at this moment, a cold snort came from not far away. Li Fuchen and Li Tianxia looked up. It was the Shintu clan's youth generation leader, Shintu Jianming. Shintu Jianming, what does this have to do with you? Li Tianxia was much bolder than before and said bluntly. Shintu Jianming stared coldly at Li Tianxia. Li Tianxia, how dare you speak to me in such a manner? In the Zhanglan sect, he, Shintu Jianming, may not be considered much. But in front of the other three major clans descendants of Yunwu City, he, Shintu Jianming, was the heavens. As long as Shintu Jianhe was in power, his status would always be higher than the other three major clans' descendants. Shintu Jianming, if you don't want to lose face, scram. Li Fuchen couldn't be bothered to be polite with Shintu Jianming. The City Lord's family clan or the Shintu family clan were nothing in his eyes. In the past, when he was in Cloud Fog City, he had fantasized about the day when he entered a sect and had some achievements. He would definitely fight against the three major clans. But now, he had already given up on fighting the three great clans. He only wanted to crush the three great clans because the three great clans were not worthy of fighting him. When he returns to Cloud Fog City, it will be the time when the three major clans tremble. What did you say? Shintu Jianming pointed at Li Fuchen and trembled with anger. I told you to get lost. Li Fuchen shouted coldly. Li Fuchen, do you know who you are talking to? Are you trying to rebel? Aren't you afraid my Shintu family clan will punish your Li family? Shintu Jianming's face was livid as he revealed his killing intent. The Shintu family clan is nothing. Since you are not going to scram, then come over and kneel down. With a wave of Li Fuchen's hand, an invisible chi force forced Shintu Jianming to kneel. Li Fuchen, you son of AB***, I want you dead. Shintu Jianming's eyes were red. Pa 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 pa, Li Fuchen gave his opponent a few dozen slaps in one breath, causing his opponent to look like a pig's head. Fuchen wouldn't doing this. Li Tianxia was still afraid of the Shintu family clan as he hesitated. Li Fuchen didn't mind and said, don't worry, I know my limits. The three great families had been arrogant for so many years, and it was time for them to pay the price. Unfortunately, it was not yet time. The commotion here was a little big. In just a short while, dozens of inner sect disciples had gathered and were pointing at Shintu Jianming and the other two. Isn't that Li Fuchen? Why is it that every time I see him, something big happens? I wonder how these three offended Li Fuchen. They were actually forced to kneel down. What a disgrace. Who asked Li Fuchen to be so domineering? Even Liao Tianjun Shixiang suffered a loss and lost an arm. Just you wait. The Liao clan's revenge will come sooner or later. The world always sympathized with the weak and couldn't stand Li Fuchen's dominance. Dominion Sword Shixiang, what happened over there? Let's go take a look. A few hundred meters away, a few inner sect disciples were walking together. Leading them was Dominion Sword, Lu Wuhuang. Dominion Sword, Lu Wuhuang was at the 9th level of the Origin Realm. He was the most famous in the inner sect, even more so than Yuan Tian. After all, Yuan Tian was a 5-star bone frame and so was he. Most importantly, he was older than Yuan Tian. In just a short period of time, he would progress to the Earth realm and become a direct disciple. In just a short moment, They arrived at the crowd and saw the three kneeling on the ground. They also saw Li Fuchen. It's Li Fuchen. One of the disciples beside Lu Wuhuang was shocked. This Li Fuchen is too much. Asking people to kneel. Who does he think he is? A normal bone frame acting like a 5-star bone frame. I can't stand it. Dominion Sword Xixiang, why don't you go and take care of this? At the same time, you can take down Li Fuchen's reputation. To be honest, Lu Wuhuang couldn't stand Li Fuchen either. With his title of Dominion Sword, he was naturally domineering. But he could be domineering. But he couldn't stand others being domineering. Stepping out of the crowd, Lu Wuhuang ignored Li Fuchen and arrived in front of Shentu Jianming. The three of you can leave. For a gentleman to take revenge, 10 years is never too late. There will be plenty of opportunities in the future. Finishing his sentence, he released his Qi presence to neutralize Li Fuchen's Qi presence. Li Fuchen laughed. This Xixiang, aren't you being a busybody? If it was a regular person, even if they provoked him, he wouldn't have asked them to kneel. After all, it was too humiliating. But why would Li Fuchen care about the feelings of these people who wanted to kill him? If this was the outside world, he would have already killed the three of them. Lu Wuhuang turned around and said indifferently, "Do you like to ask people to kneel?" Li Fuchen didn't reply. "You are strong enough to make them kneel." "If I am strong enough, can I make you kneel too?" Lu Wuhuang's gaze was like a sword, penetrating the soul and giving off a strong pressure. "I'm afraid you don't have the ability," Li Fuchen replied. "Oh, is that so? I would like to try." Lu Wuhuang's Qi presence was getting stronger. An incomparably domineering Qi presence, like the prestige of a king, shrouded Li Fuchen. Activating the mystical dragon secret technique, Li Fuchen's Qi presence rushed into the sky as well. A prowess that could intimidate all beings, contended with Lu Wuhuang and even subtly suppressed him. Plop plop plop. Just as Shentu Jianming and the other two stood up, they were forced to kneel again by the Qi presence of the two. For a moment, their minds were buzzing and they lost their wits. Damn it. Shentu Jianming clenched his fists tightly. He couldn't wait to return to Yunwu City and start a massacre at the Li clan. "Do you know the consequences of provoking me?" Lu Wuhuang's voice was indifferent. Li Fuchen replied, "It seems you were the one who provoked me first. Seems like if I don't teach you a lesson, you won't know how to repent. Kneel down too." With Lu Wuhuang's sharp eyes, he could tell that within Li Fuchen's Qi presence, there was something else mixed within it. His actual ability shouldn't be that strong. Pouring Qi into his hands, Lu Wuhuang was about to make his move. "All of you stop." Right at this moment, an inner sect elder who was passing by let out a cold snort. His voice immediately dispersed Li Fuchen and Lu Wuhuang's Qi presence. "Elder." Everyone got a shock and bowed with their hands. An inner sect elder wasn't the same as an outer sect elder. No one dared to disobey. "All of you, disperse. Creating a ruckus here is unbecoming." This inner sect elder obviously had something to do. After leaving behind this statement, he walked into the mission hall. "Consider yourself lucky. But next time, you won't be so lucky." Lu Wuhuang stared at Li Fuchen with disdain and left. "I shall wait for you." Li Fuchen didn't even look at Shentu Jianming and the other two and left with Li Tianxia. Such a pity, I didn't get to see Dominion Sword Xixiang teach Li Fuchen a lesson. It is a pity. But don't worry, the inner sect is only so big, Li Fuchen can't escape. I wonder what would happen if Li Fuchen kneels down. Seeing the main characters leave, everyone dispersed, leaving behind Shentu Jianming and the other two. Chapter 135. Fuchen, what is your ability now? Along the way, Li Tianxia was pleasantly surprised. Li Fuchen's ability was too strong. Forget about Yang Ao and Guan Yilong, but Shentu Jianming was at the 9th level of the origin realm. Li Fuchen was able to make Shentu Jianming kneel with ease. This method was 10 times stronger than defeating Shentu Jianming. Li Fuchen laughed and didn't answer. "Tianxia Ji, in a few more days, you will be 36 years old. What plans do you have?" The Tsanglan sect had a rule that if one could not break through to the earth realm before the age of 35, they would not be able to become a direct disciple. They would either be demoted to an inner sect deacon apprentice, or apply to the sect to return to the clan. Li Tianxia was already 35 years old. In a few more months, he would be 36, but he was only at the 8th level of the origin realm. Li Tianxia laughed bitterly. It is too difficult to become a direct disciple. Even a 3-star bone frame disciple would not be able to become a direct disciple, let alone me. As for my future, I have not thought of it yet. His current feelings were complicated. After so many years, he was already used to the sect's lifestyle. If he left the sect, he would definitely not be able to adapt. But the inner sect deacon apprentice required a lot of work. He didn't know if he could adapt. Patting on Li Tianxia's shoulder, Li Fuchen said, "Tianxia, think about it carefully. If you have any difficulties, let me know. Maybe I can help." "Many thanks." Li Tianxia was somewhat overwhelmed by the favor. In the past, as the leader of the Li clan's youth generation, he could still maintain the demeanor of a senior. But now he felt like a junior, while Li Fuchen was the senior. As his soul spirit gradually turned pale blue, Li Fuchen noticed that his perception was improving bit by bit. He observed that during the transformation process, 10% of the soul spirit's color changed, but the increase in perception wasn't obvious. 20% of the soul spirit's color changed, but 10% of the soul spirit's color changed. Now that it was 90%, his perception had increased by 40%. Of course, he was just casually guessing. After all, perception was something that was too abstract. Maybe for a period of time, your perception would be strong, but after a period of time, your perception would weaken. Perception would be affected by the environment, and it was normal for it to fluctuate. 90% seems to be a threshold. After 90% of the soul spirit turned pale blue, the transformation speed slowed down by a few folds. Perhaps this is because my soul has changed from green to light blue. Light green souls and green souls were of the same color system, but the depth was different, so the transformation was faster. As for the color difference between a green soul and a light blue soul, it was normal for the difficulty of the transformation to be greatly increased. In the past, I've been using medicinal pills to aid my cultivation. It's time to use medicinal pills to increase my cultivation. Li Fuchen had a premonition that something big was going to happen soon. His ability was formidable, but no one would dislike being stronger. Arriving at the resource hall, Li Fuchen spent 20,000 contribution points to redeem a half-mystic class pill, the Flame Spirit Pill. The Blaze Spirit Elixir originally required 40,000 contribution points, but Li Fuchen was an inner sect prodigy, hence he only needed to pay half the price. In the courtyard, Li Fuchen consumed the bright red flame spirit pill and began to revolve the scarlet flame mystic technique to refine it. The half-mystic class elixir was indeed worthy of being called a half-mystic class elixir. The medicinal effects were extremely intense. Lumps of energy, like diluted magma, spread throughout Li Fuchen's body. Later stage of the 6th level of origin realm. Peak of 6th level of origin realm. Early stage of the 7th level of origin realm. In the middle of the night, an intense red light flashed. In the hidden room, the temperature rose sharply, even the miscellaneous items were set ablaze. Finally, at the 7th level of the origin realm. Except for the feeling of his chi being a little superficial, Li Fuchen didn't feel any discomfort. As for the problem of his chi being superficial, it shouldn't take long to solve. His Scarlet Flame Mystic technique was already at the 14th rank. Every time he revolved the Scarlet Flame Mystic technique, his chi would be purified. Li Fuchen's premonition was very accurate. 3 days later, in the morning, dang 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 dang, in the inner sect, the melodious bell rang continuously. It rang a total of 7 times. The bell had a limit of 9 rings. Once it rang 9 times, it meant that the Tsanglan sect's life or death moment had arrived and everyone had to gather. Of course, the bell that rang wouldn't be the inner sect bronze bell, but the Tsanglan sect's treasure bell, the Tsanglan bell. Ringing 7 times was also a major event and all the inner sect disciples had to be present. Upon hearing the bell, all the inner sect disciples gathered at the plaza in front of the inner sect grand hall. After 2 hours, close to 20,000 inner sect disciples were all present. At the entrance of the inner sect grand hall, inner sect grand elder Zhao Wujin stood with his hands behind his back. On both sides of him were inner sect elders. Seeing that almost everyone had arrived, Zhao Wujin spoke in a loud voice. The reason why I have gathered everyone here is because of the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. The 100 Herbs Hidden Domain opens once every 5 years and will open again 3 months later. By then, as long as you are at the origin realm, you will be able to enter. But the quota is limited. Our Tsang Lan sect only has a quota of 10. Hence, only 10 inner sect disciples will be able to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. Just as Zhao Wujin finished his statement, the inner sect disciples' plaza exploded into a commotion. The 100 Herbs Hidden Domain is finally opening. I have waited for so long. The 100 Herbs Hidden Domain has countless of herbs. Mystic class herbs that are hard to find in the outside world are all over the place. Legends say that there are even earth class herbs inside. During the previous opening of the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain, sword maniac Xixiang found a mystic class, peak tier herb, 9 elements herb. After consuming it, his cultivation broke through from the 9th level of the origin realm to the 2nd level of the earth realm. He then slaughtered all the prodigies from the other sections. Sword tiger Xixiang also found a mystic class, peak tier herb, red tiger herb, and used it to cultivate a secret technique, mystic tiger transformation. Other than herbs, the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain also has plenty of precious ores. Yellow class ores are like cabbages in the market. There are plenty of mystic class ores too. If we can bring them back, I wonder how many contribution points we can exchange for. Everyone was talking at once, and their expressions were very excited. Hidden Domain of Heaven and Earth, 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. Li Fuchen's eyes flashed with a glaring light. Hidden domains were the mystical spaces that were formed when the heaven and earth were born. The heaven and earth energy within were 10 times or even 100 times denser than the outside world. Herbs required a place with abundant spirit chi to grow. The higher the grade of the herb, the more it was so. Hidden domains were also separated into different levels, earth class and heaven class. Earth class hidden domains were already huge and had a radius of a few hundred miles. The 100 Herbs Hidden Domain belonged to the Earth class hidden domain. Heaven class hidden domains were even bigger. Legends said that Heaven class hidden domains were as big as a region. My fated chance is finally here. Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang gave a conceited smile. In fact, he was already able to break through to the Earth realm. But in order to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain, he intentionally suppressed his cultivation level and didn't allow himself to advance. Gesturing for the crowd to be quiet, Zhao Wujin said, "The 100 Herbs Hidden Domain will only open in 3 months. Before that, we will have to decide the top 10 inner sect disciples. All inner sect disciples who are at or above the 7th level of the origin realm are eligible to participate. If you are in the top 10, you can choose a 2-star secret technique of your choice." Boom! The plaza was in an uproar again. Chapter 136. I must enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. Li Fuchen's eyes were filled with determination. For the cultivation of the martial Dao, talent was important, but so were resources. Within the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain, there were countless mystic class herbs. Any one of them would allow his path of the martial Dao to be smoother. In the outside world, a stalk of mystic class, low-tier herb would be worth 10,000 to 30,000 gold coins. A stalk of mystic class, mid-tier herb would be worth 50,000 to 100,000 gold coins. A stalk of mystic class, high-tier herb would be worth 200,000 to 500,000 gold coins. A stalk of mystic class, peak-tier herb would be worth 1,500,000 to 3 million gold coins. If the herb was refined into a pill, the value would increase by another 10-folds. Even Earth Realm and Heaven Realm martial artists were in need of mystic class herbs, let alone Origin Realm martial artists. A stalk of mystic class, peak-tier herb was enough for 2 Heaven Realm martial artists to fight it out. If anyone dares to stop me from entering the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain, I will never forgive him. Yuan Tian's eyes were filled with ambition. He was a 5-star bone frame and his cultivation speed was already extremely fast. He was currently at the 8th level of the origin realm. But he wanted to be even faster. Regular yellow class pills were no longer able to help him increase his cultivation level. They could only assist in his cultivation, but mystic class herbs could. 100 Herbs Hidden Domain? I am looking forward to it. Chen Fanghua had already broken through to the 9th level of the origin realm for a period of time. She naturally wanted to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. But she knew that it wasn't that easy to enter the top 10 of the inner sect. There were too many inner sect disciples who suppressed their cultivation to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. Those 3-star bone frames were still alright, but 4-star bone frames were undoubtedly terrifying. According to Chen Fanghua's knowledge, there were at least a dozen 4-star bone frames who suppressed their cultivation for a few months or even more than a year just to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain. In such a long period of time, they had accumulated a tremendous amount of cultivation. As per usual, the top 10 inner sect disciples will be decided by a tournament. The tournament will be held 3 days later. All of you better prepare well. Don't blame the heavens and the earth when you lose. Zhao Wujin continued. Elder, why can 7th and 8th level origin realm martial artists participate too? Isn't this a waste of time? An inner sect disciple who was at the peak stage of the origin realm raised an objection. Zhao Wujin smiled. If you're confident in yourself, then there's no need to care about these details. Naturally, there will be a screening round before the tournament. Only those who pass the screening round can participate in the tournament. Those inner sect disciples who had objections instantly stopped speaking when they heard this. Alright, let's disperse. In the next 3 days, everyone should work hard and strive to enter the top 10. After explaining, Zhao Wujin and the other inner sect elders left, leaving the excited inner sect disciples behind. Who do you think has a chance of entering the top 10? I don't know about the others, but I do know that Senior Brother Overlord Sword will definitely be in the top 10. There's no need for you to say that. Senior Brother Overlord Sword is at least in the top 5. He might even be in the top 3 or even first place. Only those senior brothers who have suppressed their cultivation for a long time can match him. That's right. I heard that Xiao Shixiang could have advanced to the Earth realm over a year ago, but in order to enter the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain, he forcefully suppressed it until now. Senior Brother Bai as well. Yuan Shixiang has a high chance as well. He is a 5-star bone frame. Then do you guys think that Li Fuchen has a chance? I just noticed that Li Fuchen has progressed to the 7th level of the origin realm and is qualified to participate in the screening contest. Li Fuchen, just forget about him. Liao Tianjun Shixiang is no match for the top-ranked Shixiang. Any one of them can easily defeat Liao Tianjun Shixiang. Li Fuchen has no chance at all. What's the point of talking about him? In the plaza, everyone was in a heated discussion, occasionally looking at those popular figures. Hearing the discussions of the crowd, Li Fuchen didn't mind. Ability was obtained through combat, not words. 3 days later, everything will be revealed. Just as he was preparing to leave, he suddenly stopped. Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang blocked his path. Seems like you have the intention to take the 100 Herbs Hidden Domain too. To be able to break through from the 6th level of the origin realm to the 7th level of the origin realm in such a short period of time. Lu Wuhuang spoke coldly. Li Fuchen didn't speak and listened quietly. I advise you to give up. If you dare to step on the stage, I will kick you off. He, Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang, had never been disobeyed before. He had always kept the incident that happened a few days ago in his heart. Li Fuchen laughed lightly. I don't know if you have heard of this saying before. Leave some leeway for future encounters. We originally didn't have any enmity between us, but you chose to make me your enemy. So what if I made you my enemy? What can you do to me? Lu Wuhuang was disdainful. Let me return the same words to you. If you dare to step on the stage, I will kick you off. This is the funniest joke I have ever heard. 3 days later, I want to see how you are going to kick me off the stage. 3 days was a short period of time and Lu Wuhuang could afford to wait. Li Shidi, since when did you become enemies with Lu Wuhuang? Chen Fanghua was convinced by Li Fuchen. No matter where he went, there were enemies everywhere. It was as though he had enemies everywhere. Li Fuchen replied helplessly, maybe I am too outstanding. Chen Fanghua couldn't help but laugh. Zhao Mingyue walked over. Chen Shiji, Li Fuchen is right. He is too outstanding, but he doesn't have a good bone frame. Which is why those equally outstanding individuals would view him as an enemy. Chen Fanghua nodded. Now that you mention it, it does seem to make sense. Zhao Mingyue said to Li Fuchen, you have to be careful. Lu Wuhuang may be domineering, but he is extremely capable. Even my grandfather said that he has the potential to create his own sword Dao. Li Fuchen nodded. Don't worry, I will not underestimate anyone. Of course, I will not overestimate anyone either. Li Fuchen had his own pride. Since this Lu Wuhuang insisted on provoking him, he would give him an unforgettable memory. In the courtyard, Li Fuchen was practicing his sword. The more he practiced the meteor sword style, the more Li Fuchen felt that there was no end to the sword. Logically speaking, when the meteor sword style reached the trance stage and produced sword intent, it should have reached the pinnacle and couldn't be improved any further. But Li Fuchen felt that the appearance of the sword intent merely opened a door. After entering this door, one would gradually understand the profoundness of the sword Dao, the prowess and killing intent of the sword Dao. From the meteor sword intent, Li Fuchen could feel the quintessence of the meteor sword style. How could the meteors in the sky be comprehended by the meteor sword style? With a single slash, the giant or turned into a hornet's nest. 3 more than the previous time. Not bad. Li Fuchen nodded to himself. 3 days passed by in a flash. The screening test began. The screening test was simple. One just needed to leave an inch-deep mark on a 10-meter-tall, yellow class, peak tier ore. Of course, it was easier said than done. Chapter 137. The contest stage was filled with people. Most of the inner sect disciples were just here to watch the show. Only 20% of the inner sect disciples were qualified to participate. Let me try. An 8th-level Origin Realm inner sect disciple stood up. He held his sword with both hands and slashed at the black iron ore. Clang. Sparks flew, but only a white mark appeared on the black iron ore. Unqualified, next. The inner sect deacon in charge of screening said coldly. It was extremely difficult to leave an inch-deep mark on the black iron ore. A few inner sect disciples who were at the peak of the Origin Realm could only leave a mark that was half an inch deep. Too difficult. In the entire inner sect, there aren't many who can do it. I estimate that there won't be more than 200. 200. There won't be more than 100. In the inner sect, other than the first-grade inner sect disciples, not many would use the ores to practice their sword. Even the first-grade inner sect disciples would normally only use yellow-class high-tier ores and below to practice their sword. Nobody expected that it would be so difficult to leave an inch-deep mark on the yellow-class peak-tier black iron ore. Let me try. The one who spoke was Zhao Mingyue. In order to participate in the screening contest, Zhao Mingyue had consumed a half-mystic class elixir a month ago to increase her cultivation to the 7th level of the Origin Realm. Clang. Sparks flew and a shallow mark appeared on the black iron ore. Zhao Mingyue shook her head and walked down from the stage. Still not enough. One by one, the inner sect disciples that met the requirements went up the stage and walked down the stage dejectedly. Soon enough, more than 2,000 disciples had passed the test. Of the top 10 prodigies except for Yuan Tian, the rest were all wiped out. None of them could leave an inch-deep mark. Yuan Tian went up. I wonder if he can pass. He should be able to. He is a 5-star bone frame and has a decent cultivation at the 8th level of the Origin Realm. As the crowd discussed, Yuan Tian stood in front of the black iron ore. Unsheathing his sword, Yuan Tian used all his strength and slashed at the black iron ore. Kacha! Gravel flew and an inch-deep mark appeared. Yuan Tian qualified. The inner sect deacon in charge of screening smiled and nodded. Until now, Yuan Tian was the only one who passed the test with a cultivation lower than the 9th level of the origin realm. So this is a 5-star bone frame? As expected, I can't compare. Gao Changtian sighed. Of the top 10 geniuses of the outer sect, now only Yuan Tian was able to compete. They were still too inexperienced. Let me. A figure landed on the stage. It's senior brother Xiao Bieli. Senior brother Xiao will definitely pass the screening test. I just don't know how deep the mark he will leave on the profound iron Oregon. Xiao Libi's fame in the inner sect wasn't any weaker than Overlord Sword Lu Wuhuang. He had the title of the number 1 disciple in the inner sect. Of course, this title was only temporary. Xiao Libi's strength was accumulated over time. His bone frame was only a 4-star bone frame and was incomparable to Lu Wuhuang and Yuan Tian's 5-star bone frames. Gotcha. Xiao Libi was indeed worthy of being the number 1 disciple of the inner sect. His sword left a 2-inch deep mark on the Xian iron ore. This was the deepest mark he had left so far. It's my turn. Chen Fanghua tiptoed and floated towards the stage like a cloud. Chen Fanghua had learned 2 types of mystic class, low-tier sword arts. One was the group attack, myriad blossom sword style, and the other was the flying flower sword style. The flying flower sword style had a strong attack power. A single blade left an inch-deep mark on the Xian iron ore. Chen Fanghua qualified. Hearing the inner sect deacon's voice, Chen Fanghua let out a breath of relief. Chen Shiji, congratulations. As Chen Fanghua returned, Li Fuchen greeted. Chen Fanghua replied, I was lucky. As of now, there were only 30+ disciples who qualified. It was much lesser than what she expected. She felt that her chances were still rather high. Bai Shixiang went up. Luo Shixiang went up too. Too strong. How can he be an origin realm martial artist? The Bai Shixiang and Luo Shixiang that everyone was talking about had each left a 2-inch deep mark on the Xian iron ore. They were undoubtedly at the abnormal class. The inner sect sure is filled with crouching tigers and hidden dragons. Li Fuchen raised his brows. He had a feeling that Xiao Libi comprehended sword intent. He couldn't sense it normally, but when Xiao Libi made a move, Li Fuchen could feel a slight fluctuation of sword intent. Hence, Xiao Libi was probably hiding his true ability. As for the Bai Shixiang and Luo Shixiang that everyone was talking about, even if they didn't comprehend sword intent, they weren't far from it. If not, they wouldn't be able to leave a 2-inch deep mark on the Xian iron ore. After all, this wasn't a matter of 1 + 1 = 2. The difficulty of leaving a 2-inch deep mark was a few times harder than leaving a 1-inch deep mark. Too weak, a bunch of weak chickens. Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang walked out from the crowd. Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang is finally making his move. Farewell Sword, Dominion Sword, Whitewater Sword, Mountain River Sword. These 4 Shixiang are undoubtedly the 4 experts of the inner sect. Everyone was excited. These 4 titles represented Farewell Sword Xiao Libi, Dominion Sword Lu Wuhuang, Whitewater Sword Bai Tao, and Mountain River Sword Luo Yishan. The 4 of them were almost at the limits of the origin realm and were rather famous in the martial world. What's more, they had once killed an Earth realm martial artist. I wonder what stage Lu Shidi is at? Xiao Libi sized up Lu Wuhuang with curiosity. 3 steps in front of the black iron ore, Lu Wuhuang drew his black iron sword. All of you watch carefully. Lu Wuhuang roared in his heart and slashed at the black iron ore. Different from the others, the sound of Lu Wuhuang slashing at the black iron ore had an unstoppable willpower, as though he was cutting tofu. Sword intent. Xiao Libi's eyes shrunk. Because he had also comprehended sword intent, he could clearly feel that Lu Wuhuang had just used sword intent. It was an extremely dominant sword intent, an invincible sword intent. Soaring Cloud Sword Intent. Soaring Cloud Slash was the same as the Meteor Sword Art. They were both extreme sword arts. The sword intent that was comprehended from the Soaring Cloud Slash was extremely dominant. It had the willpower to look down on the world and slash everything in its path. 8 inches qualified. The inner sect deacon in charge of the screening was also stunned. He was an Earth Realm martial artist, but up till now he had yet to comprehend the sword intent. He didn't expect an inner sect disciple to comprehend sword intent. This was unbelievable. Did I hear it wrong? 2. 8 inches deep. Scary. Let me ask you, who else is a match for Dominion Sword Xixiang? Not even Xiao Xixiang. Including Chen Fanghua and Zhao Mingyue, everyone took in a deep, cold breath. There was a huge difference between comprehending sword intent and not comprehending sword intent. After comprehending sword intent, the lethality of a sword art would increase by at least 2 to 3 folds. How was one going to fight? You wouldn't even be able to block a single blade. Li Shidi, you have offended someone you shouldn't have. Chen Fanghua muttered. It's my turn. Li Fuchen let out a faint smile and walked up the stage. So what if he comprehended sword intent? Welcome to Immortal Cultivation Audiobooks, your gateway to the mystical world of Xianxia. Dive into legendary tales of martial arts, spiritual growth, and immortal ascension. Here, we bring you full-length English audiobooks of the best Wuxia and Xianxia stories, from young prodigies to ancient sect wars. Perfect for fans of Against the Gods, Martial World, and tales of demons and gods.